Hello again, and welcome to another exciting episode of Angels, Fairies, and Witches. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Laura, and we are very grateful that you've brought us back into your home. And if you have any questions, if you've seen the first few series of our show and you have any further questions or just would like to discuss the topic in general, please feel free to contact either one of us on the numbers listed on the screen.
Or both of us. The numbers listed on the screen. Okay, well, we were discussing last time, we were finishing up, although we're never really finished, with conversation involving the archangels. And we talked about Michael and Raphael and Gabriel and Uriel. And today we would like to do two more archangels. One is Raziel and one is Haniel. And we're going to talk about that for about half the show. And the other half of the show, I'm going to teach you all how to make something that I call angel sugar. It's a spell, it's a potion, but it's called angel sugar. So you got to know it's good stuff.
That's right.
Okay? So, next one on the chopping block is an archangel named Raziel.
His name means secrets of God.
He is in charge of clairvoyance and divine magic. As we go out, what magic actually means, but one of his chief purposes is to teach you how to take back your power. When you call upon him, if you feel intimidated by a situation, if you don't feel worthy of someone or something, he's a very good one to call upon to kind of really boost your self-esteem.
He helps us to understand concepts that defy logic for most people.
Like numerology. Well, I have a problem with that. Maybe it's not that difficult to understand.
Right. But
esoteric symbols.
Right. And he basically gives us guidance through mental images and very repetitious signs. Like we said earlier, signs that you see at least 3 times or more are definitely coming from Archangel Raziel.
Another thing, when you were talking about how he sends us images, I'd like to spend a moment talking about how obviously there's things you can see with your physical eye. When we were discussing the last time about the different chakras, this is your third eye chakra, okay? So I'm going to give you an example of how there's exercises you can do with a crystal ball or a bowl of water, clouds. You can do it with anything, really. It's called scrying, and scrying is seeing through here, okay? So here's what I want you all to try at home. Look at something. Okay. Here I have a mug. It says The Good Witch. Don't you know it? Okay. I'm looking at this mug with my 2 eyes, right? I'm seeing this mug. Now, if I were to tell you, keep looking at whatever object you're focused on, now look at the apple. Don't take your eyes off of this. Can you see an apple? I can. Can you further, still looking at the same object, can you see the pony running in the meadow? I can. I hope you can. It's really very simple, and if you don't think you can, you just need to practice a little. It's literally, the reason why people use crystal balls in divination is because while your eyes are focused on the crystal ball, you're seeing all these other images literally through this point. Oh, and by the way, as we go on, I will show you how to use a crystal ball.
Indeed.
Indeed. So in terms of images, also another time when you're falling asleep, if you lay there for a few minutes and just breathe and meditate, images will come into your head. And
think about that as actually being an eye, and think about trying to open that eyelid. Physically, actually think about opening that eyelid up to the images that are available to you.
And again, you know, all you really have to do is center yourself, put all the day's worries and cares and whatever out of your head. Center yourself, and you can absolutely do this. And what I was saying, when you're laying in bed and you're trying to, and you're seeing images, if it's anything negative, that's not the angels. That's your own mind your own human mind.
That's your ego.
That's
basically.
your ego. Well, we have a lot to talk about with the ego.
Indeed.
That's going to have to be at least 3 episodes.
And like she said, if you stare at it and you don't see the pony or you don't see the apple, remember, we started it back in 2004. So this didn't happen
Actively
overnight.
started it,
right.
yeah.
It didn't happen for us overnight either. So
don't get frustrated. It takes time. What you're doing with all this information we're giving you, you are learning to retrain your brain. And so for those of you, I don't know if we actually have any 20-year-olds watching us, but for you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and so on, you've been conditioned for a lifetime to believe you're not good enough, and there's somebody up there who might punish you if you do something wrong, and greed is good.
And only seeing things that are concrete.
Right.
Sometimes you have to throw that belief away and know that there's things that you can't see that are out there to help you.
It's not seeing is believing. It's believing is seeing. Did I just make that up?
I
don't think I did. I think whoever I might have plagiarized, sorry. It's not seeing is believing. It's believing is seeing. No, that definitely didn't come from me. Definitely not. Okay, we have another angel that we want to discuss, and then it's on to Angel Sugar.
And that would be Archangel Haniel, whose name means glory of God.
This is a beautiful, beautiful angel, which our brilliant producer will show a picture of in a few seconds. And she is in charge of 2 things primarily. One is passion. Imagine living your life with passion. And I don't mean just, the sexual stuff, but that too. Passion in your love life, passion in your career, passion in all you do, as opposed to going through your day lackluster.
Yeah, she helps you to be more sensitive to your needs as well as the needs of people around you.
Mm-hmm. Honoring your feelings.
Right. She helps you to live up to your highest potential as a human being, as a kind and loving human being.
And passion.
Can't
have enough passion, right?
No.
Another thing that she's in charge of is moon cycles. Now, some of you might not really know what that is. Maybe you go out once in a while and every now and again you see a full moon or half moon.
And go, oh,
some
look at that pretty moon.
As a witch, we do a lot of our rituals according to the moon cycles. So just very briefly, because Haniel is kind of in charge of that, and you get to do this every month, which is super fun. It starts off with a new moon, okay? Then as the moon, what they say, starts to wax, it starts getting fuller and fuller and fuller till you get to the full moon. And then after that, it starts to wane, which means slowly it starts to diminish, diminish, diminish. And then you have about a 2-day period, sometimes 3, called the dark moon, which just means you don't see anything. And this is when I do more of the witchcraft stuff. I'll explain how as the moon starts from the new moon, working its way up to the full, you focus on the things that you want in your life, the experiences, the opportunities. And then when you get to the full moon, as it works its way down, you focus on the things you want to get rid of.
You see
bad habits.
Right. You see how it's concrete that the moon affects the tides. You know that when the moon,
emotions.
The moon is in its cycles. It affects the tides of the incoming and the outgoing tide here on Earth. Well, we're 76% water as well, so it's going to affect us as well. Those same energy effective towards the tides are going to affect our energy level and our
there's
moods.
Been studies that show that people get like literally crazier during the full moon, and that's why in Spanish and in Italian the moon is called luna, and unfortunately that's how we got the word lunatic, but it's true, it really affects
And
people.
spending the time in the healthcare industry that we have, we've seen it personally for ourselves, how people who haven't spoken in years during a full moon might suddenly open their eyes and say, hey, how's it going? And you just kind of go, whoa.
Yeah. It's a very magical and wonderful time. And the spell that I'm going to show you was passed down to me. And the idea behind it is twofold. You can do this every month. You can keep it for yourself. You can give it away as gifts. We're going to make angel sugar with some of just the yummiest ingredients. And even if you're diabetic, we're talking about ingesting like that much a day, so don't need to worry. The idea behind it is that when you put it in your coffee or over your cereal or whatever you use sugar for, you're taking in all the blessings from the angels for yourself, all their healing and joy and happiness and peace. And additionally, you are going to think, see, hear, and act a little bit more like an angel yourself. Most everybody has a morning cup of tea or coffee or cereal, or you know what, you can even have it straight up like a vitamin. And so going out into the world, however your day is going to unfold,
It's going to be just a little bit sweeter because of that angel full moon energy that you've ingested.
Now, an important thing too is I do this spell on a full moon. You really can do it at any time. There's no set rules about it. I have just found that the full moon energy is the highest. It's the most magical. It's also something, like with my children, to look forward to, that we do together every month. But really, you can do it anytime.
When the energy of the moon is full, this is a good time to release things that you're full of or done with as well. So when the moon is full, it's so wonderful to just step out into nature and let that full moon energy cascade upon you, and then just say, okay, I'm done with
Absolutely.
the horrible situation that I'm caught up in with my job, or I'm done with this relationship that's not going places for me. This is the best time to do it. And when the moon is new, where you don't see the moon, this is a good time to manifest things that you want to have into your life, because the moon is new, and so you want to start something new or manifest something new into your life. And the night before the full moon is the best time for healing and recharging. Your divination tools, your crystals, your
that's another
oils,
show.
Right, which will be another show. But
We do have a lot to say.
Yeah, but it's pertinent work.
It's been suggested too that the sun and the moon are male and female counterparts. So you know how healing it is to step out into the sunlight. It's just as healing to step out into the moonlight. You know, the sun invigorates and energizes you, whereas the moon tends to soothe and nurture you.
It's just, the problem is, people are just in such a hurry with their everyday life that they just pull into their driveway and go, oh yeah, look, the moon's full.
Gotta catch the 6 o'clock news.
Right, yeah. Stop. Let that moon cascade upon you. I'm telling you, just a few minutes in the moonlight, you'll feel the difference.
And if you think we're crazy, well, first of all, you wouldn't be the only one. But you know what? Try it. Try some of these little things we're saying. What do you have to lose?
Nothing.
I promise you will not burst into flame. Now, I'm going to come over here and teach you my special angel sugar recipe. Okay.
All right.
Come, follow me. Mr. Rogers. Okay. Every spell that I'm going to be teaching you in this series, and I have a lot of them, involves common, everyday, household items that you can get anywhere. If you want to get fancy and get the real quality stuff, feel free. If you want to get stuff at a 99-cent store, feel free. It's all in the intention. By intention, I mean your thought process, okay? So, ideally, this is done either the night of the full moon, or the night before the full moon, or the night after the full moon. Just those 3 days. Almost every calendar that you buy will show you when the full moon is. Or if you're computer savvy, which I'm not, you could always go and look it up, okay? Again, try to make things ritual. Here I have my favorite Halloween mug. I've had it since I was a child, as you can tell by the chips in it. I love this. I only use this once a month for the full moon, okay? So first you take some basic sugar. Now I went a little fancy this time for the TV show, and I got Florida crystals, natural sugar. You just can't use powdered sugar. Well, I mean, maybe you can, but I never have. You want to have a healthy amount of it, maybe a cupful or so. And I've already lined my cookie sheet with a piece of wax paper. You can also use aluminum foil. I find that the wax works a little bit better. Okay, now here's where you get to be creative. You can just get some of the yummiest ingredients, okay? Vanilla. What would you say about vanilla? Well, I would say it's obviously very sweet. It adds sweetness, maybe reminiscent from your childhood. So only putting in the yummiest of ingredients, just enough to moisten it, okay? Now, if you're just making this for yourself, you don't even need to use this much. I tend to crank it out in mass quantities, so I tend to use a little bit more.
Because she shares it with her friends.
Because I share it with my friends. Honey. I have an ex-husband, well, actually I have two of them, but one of them swears by the antiseptic properties in honey. To the point that they even put it on Band-Aids now. It's supposed to aid in healing. That's why we're using honey. Healing, helping, antiseptic. Okay. Cinnamon. Cinnamon is a great cleanser of your inner workings. If you add a teaspoon of cinnamon to your diet every day, I can guarantee you won't have, I really don't want to be on TV talking about bowel issues. Trust me, it'll help. So just a little bit of the cinnamon, because we're going to get everything working here, mind, body, and soul. Okay. Nutmeg. Go easy on the nutmeg. It's very powerful in both flavor and what it can do. Nutmeg is a psychic enhancer. Okay, it has been suggested that it really kind of opens up your third eye. So I don't like to use too much, and kids aren't crazy about nutmeg. Just a little bit there. Okay. And then anything else. I got this almond extract. Almond is a nut that's sacred to Venus, who's also Aphrodite, who's also Haniel. So it's a very lovely kind of oil. Again, what we're trying to achieve here is multiple levels of health and beauty. Now, to finish it out, I just add a little bit of dark brown sugar because I like dark brown sugar. I really don't have any spiritual reason for adding this. Well, it helps with the consistency, I suppose. And again, just a pinch of DBS, dark brown sugar. Ooh, I'm like the Rachel Ray of witchcraft. Sorry, Rachel, don't sue me. I only have cats and kids, and you're welcome to any of them. Speaking of kids, go away. Okay, now, important. Got all your ingredients in there. You also really want to set the mood. You know, on a full moon, light a few candles, maybe some nice soft music in the background. Again, we're big fans of 105.9 FM, beautiful classical music, commercial free. Two things to remember. You want to, since these are the things you want to bring in your life, you must go clockwise, okay? Clockwise. In witchcraft, it's called widdershins. If you wanted to remove something, you'd go counterclockwise, but these are the things we want in our life. And you know, sometimes like maybe you need to add a little more sugar, which I do. As you're using your special spoon and your special mug and you're going clockwise, this is what you're saying, thinking, and if you could get the feeling, even better, okay? Remember, it's called angel sugar. What do the angels do? Love, joy, peace, health, happiness, prosperity, relationship harmony, justice, compassion, magic. Feel free to jump in over there.
Okay.
You get the idea, though. Whatever it is, if there's qualities you have in your life and you want more of, or qualities, friendship, parties,
Patience.
fun. Oh, patience. How did I know you were going to put in patience?
Gratitude.
Fine, it's important. Here, look. Patience, patience, patience. Enough? She's right, though. Gratitude, passion, compassion. I'm probably repeating myself. When you feel that you have, see that? When you feel you've done a good job, and again, no rules. Do what you want. Do what feels right. Get fun. Get creative. This whole psychic development is supposed to be fun, not boring and dreary. You're going to put it out here on your wax paper. And like I said, you can use foil. I have found wax paper is a little bit better. Okay? And you just want to spread it out like so. Okay. There you go. Just so. And by the way, there is no wrong way to do this. Absolutely not. If you find it's a little too liquid, add a little more sugar. If you don't like nutmeg at all, leave it out. If you want to add some chili pepper, go right ahead. Make it your own. Now, again, we're trying to do this on the full moon, okay? I made the mistake once, and only once, that I put this literally out in the full moon. I left it on my backyard picnic table. And when I got up the next morning, it was covered in ants. Don't put it outside, okay? Try to find a window that you know the full moon might hit. Probably in most kitchens. And, even if it might not hit, again, it's the thinking. It's the idea. You could bring it outside and just very quickly put it in the full moon if you don't have a window that it can stay overnight. So the idea is you would just kind of leave it. Well, I wouldn't put it here, but where I'd leave it, the camera can't go that far. The next morning, when I wake up, this will all be very crispy, okay? And if it wasn't my first time doing it, I would pop out a ready-made one, but I didn't, okay? So this will all be crispy. You just crunch it back up. Now, I will show you. I know it looks a little beaten up, but this is my jar. This is basically what it looks like. Okay? With all the yummy ingredients. Put it in your coffee, sprinkle it over sugar, pop it in your mouth. Not a good idea.
Make it ritual when you do it. That's the whole idea.
Ritual, ritual, ritual. So now, oh God, I'm on camera talking with my mouth full.
Please don't feel that, it's cloudy, it's raining on the night of the full moon.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen because, like she said, it's all in the intention.
Right. Even if you can't see the moon, or if it's overcast, trust me, the angel, the benefits, it's all there. And then what I like to do sometimes is you can find them in 99-cent stores or craft stores, Michael's, A.C. Moore's. These little cute bottles, and they come in all different sizes. And if you want to give them out to your friends, just crush it up and put it in here. You can even put your own little label. So again, then just to recap, the idea is when you eat it, you are just putting into your body all the intentions we put in here. What did we say? Health, prosperity, happiness, patience, joy, love. That's now become a part of you. And additionally, as you go about your day, you talk more like an angel. You think more like an angel. You behave more angelically. All right, back over here.
Okay, Zadkiel's name means righteousness of God.
One of his chief purposes is that he teaches you about teaching and learning. It's a cycle that never stops. She and I have been at this for many, many years, and there's still so very much more to know. You never stop learning and growing, but then the idea is when you find something that you think is interesting or spiritual, teach it to others.
And that's probably who gave us our inspiration for this television show is Zadkiel. Because
I hadn't thought about that.
Zadkiel has encouraged us to learn, and now Zadkiel is encouraging us to pass that information on to you.
And that's what we encourage you to do. Anything that you've...
He teaches us about compassion and forgiveness.
Forgiveness, it ranks right up there with patience. It's difficult for a lot of people.
And when he usually sends his message through your ears or in your mind, he's in charge of the clairaudient, the clear hearing.
Yes, messages.
He helps you with your memory. If you're having difficulty recalling things and you've got a test to take or there's something that you just need, you're having difficulty recalling, you call upon Archangel Zadkiel and he will help you with your memory.
But now, know this, you can't not study and the morning of the big exam wake up and call on Zadkiel and think he's just going to magically put all the information. I say that because when I was growing up and I was in Catholic school, hard to imagine, right? But I was. I hadn't studied for a math regents and hadn't planned on studying. And so the day before, I had found this poem or whatever to St. Jude because he's in charge of impossible cases. And I didn't pass my math regents, but it wasn't St. Jude's fault. So in terms of working with Zadkiel, or with any of the angels on anything, you got to meet them halfway.
That's right. You got to do your fair share.
Yep, and ask. We can't, I know it sounds a little repetitious, but you have to ask them. And it's no more difficult than just saying angels. If you call on the wrong one by accident, the right one always shows up. You just can't go wrong.
Right. They know what you're needing help with, and all they want is for you to ask. So even if you can't remember, it's Zadkiel I need to call on, just call on the angels.
The angel who helps with memory.
Right, exactly, and whatever your issue is, and the right angel will show up.
Absolutely. Going forward in our next couple of episodes, I think the next thing we're going to be tackling is the fairies, and they are a wonderful, fun, elemental kingdom. Gonna have a blast with them.
Okay, so we hope that you enjoyed this segment, especially on making the angel sugar today. And if you enjoy the show, please feel free to either call us and let us know.
Phone number at the bottom of your screen.
Or
if we can help in any way.
Right, or call QPTV and let them know.
And once again, if you didn't like our broadcast, please feel free to change the channel. From Angels, Fairies, and Witches, thank you and have a blessed day.
Farewell.